6 minutes left. Still, both sides could win this.
Absolutely perfect. Das Bauwolf kommt rein, 2 MGs, Peekaboo, Cripable. Es ist ein Gemetzel.
Look at the carnage! My goodness!
Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me again for this Week 6 HCA game between... I'm looking the wrong way, I'm trying to do it in the studio. Between The Line and 82AD. Very exciting. Should be a good game. Looking forward to this one. Casting, excuse me, while I sort my green screen out. Casting 82AD again, which is, I don't know whether they think I'm a bad omen at this point or whether it's a good thing. I think it's very interesting to see how they're kind of playing this tournament or this league. Obviously, we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Hopefully, we will be getting into the game pretty soon. We'll have a little chat about the map real quick and like the team's history on the map here on Utah Beach. Then we'll stream the game, and then hopefully at the end we're going to speak to Gem and Coltrane as well, which I'm really excited about. So stick around for that. Thank you, of course, to anyone who's followed me since the recapping last Friday or Squad Line Battle or the previous games last weekend. It's a 30-minute delay again today, as always with HCA games, so I can't kind of acknowledge when people follow or support the stream or chat like when it happens, but I will see it half an hour delayed. If there's a problem with the stream, which hopefully there isn't, and excuse the slightly lower than usual graphic settings today, as I've had to kind of lower them a bit to try and stop the game from crashing, but hopefully I might have fixed it. I'm not sure, it could have been like a file error, so we'll just see. But yeah, I've lower the settings. If there is a problem with like the sound, I'm looking at the sound now, it seems okay for the moment, but do let me know. It might be up to half an hour before I can fix it. If my game or my PC blue screens like it did earlier, we're totally screwed because that's the 30-minute buffer of the game gone. So apologies in advance for any technical issues, but fingers crossed we won't have any, and this will be a good game. Yeah, sweet. Just before the break as well, I should say, we're not going to have any more HCA content now until after the new year. It's not because I've relaxed in the final week that I've done away with the suit. I'm just cold. The weather has finally turned and it's becoming autumn, let's face it, and therefore time for the seasonal. So that will obviously be starting next weekend as well. So yeah, pretty hyped about that. Come to my channel on Wednesday for the first episode of the seasonal recapping, not just the Hell Let Loose recapping, but the sort of seasonal specific one. We're going to have Heidi, hopefully Jane as well as guests on that. Maybe Abusify as well, I'm not sure. And we're going to be joined by June, the YouTuber, if you've seen any of his videos, really good quality video YouTuber. So hopefully that'll be cool. And yeah, let's just get straight into talk about these maps. Oh, I should just quickly touch on the scoreboard here actually before we get going. Just basically, if only to say that you can see here with the line sitting in tied 7th, they currently have only 4 games played. They had their bye week last week, and so if they win this one, they'll go from obviously 4 games played with 2 wins to 5 games played and 3 wins, putting them at tied 5th with ESPT and What the Hell in this table configuration as it is now. So it's kind of an important game for the line, trying to stay with the pack there, as it were. Obviously they will have had an extra game and stuff like that, but just to give context of this is where they will want to be coming out of this game. 82 AD sitting down there in 9th, of course, only won the one game. That was against 38 Infantry Division. They've only played on Utah Beach so far, except maybe perhaps their first game wasn't. Their first game might have been Samurai Glees. But since week 2, I think 82 AD have been sticking on Utah and sticking with allies as well. And if I jump over to the map here, you can see I've drawn their region in red. So we'll be following the Axis admin cam. So we'll see them in blue, the line in blue. So I've drawn their line in at their HQ spawn here down between B and C column. And in red, as I say, I've drawn in the line for 82 AD here. So we'll be getting the game started in a moment, but I'm just curious, really, mostly about the situation with 82 AD's choice of the Utah Beach again and again and again, and allies again and again and again. I would have thought that Axis was stronger in the game, number one, and number two, especially on Utah Beach, the allies have a really, really tough time here of defending that last point. If they do get pushed back to the last point, it's really difficult for them, obviously, because they are, well, stuck on the beach, trying to cross the beach from their HQ spawn, and it's really not a great position for them to be in. So I'm very curious to see what they do here, 82 AD, as we kind of get started with the game. I believe the maps have actually flipped now, so we'll get into it and get over into the game. Although maybe not. Maybe they haven't flipped yet. I think they're just psyching me out here. I can see a whole bunch of people deploying and it's freaking me out, but I think we're okay. I think they're just going to go back the other way. So we've got just a couple of minutes or so, I think, to talk about the game real quick, or the points. And when it comes to Chapel, which is the middle point here in Utah Beach, let me get my little circle out to signify it. So the thing about Chapel is that within the wider sector, it's obviously on the allied side, so they do kind of have an advantage here. The same with WN4, it's down here in F column, and you can see with WN7 it's way more like in the middle, and so the Chapel and WN4 are probably the two that give most advantage, I would say, to 82 AD in this situation, the allies. And we've seen 82 AD playing the Chapel already. They had the Chapel come up as their middle point against Core, which they deployed well. They had a bit of an odd deployment. They had AA battery as the next point, and instead of going up to WM4 and down and trying to secure this northern road, they kind of came in down here in F6 and went up towards the Chapel, which is a bit different. But we've seen them play WN7 as well. They won, obviously, against 38 Infantry Division on WN7, but they lost last time out against Goff. So I'm kind of curious to see them play WN4, and I think maybe, as I say, it kind of favours the allies a bit more here, and with the barbed wire setup and all the rest of it, it might be the one that they're hopefully, well, that they're banking on, if you see what I mean, for this game. So I think they have actually flipped the maps now, so perhaps we'll get on over into the game. I don't it's always the problem when they like flip them too many times. You can never tell when it's the actual game, but I think we'll go over there now just to be safe rather than sorry. So I'll get us into a squad here, although I don't have any game sound, which is a bit concerning. This is another recurring bug. I don't know if that's something that's temporary or not. We'll see. No, it looks like we actually have no game sound, so that's brilliant. Okay, give me a sec, guys. I'll just restart the game. Sometimes it happens when the server flips. Sometimes it happens just in the middle of the game. I don't know why. If anyone has any ways to stop it from doing that, please let me know. But we'll get back over into the game now. It looks like from the point layout here, it is WM4 as that northern point with two diagonals, so 82 AD having Hill 5 as their second point. Maybe I'll hear the game sound here. Oh, yes, we hear it. Okay, so they have Hill 5 as their second point. I don't know if we can get my strat sketch up. Hill 5 here, WM4, and then Le Grand Creek is the second point that we'll see here for the Germans. So 2 diagonals, probably a better setup in a way, Legrand Creek and WM4 for the Germans here. Okay, it's diagonal, but it's easier for them to get set up and not get rushed at Sunken Bridge, which can be a bit rough. But I don't know, let me know in the chat what you think about that one, because perhaps that's a hot take that I just gave there. And Hill 5 into WM4 could be worse, I suppose, for 82 AD. So I'm really interested to see this one. We'll get into the game before they've kind of got everyone deployed. We'll just go into this little pre-game screen. Bear with me 1 minute. The mic's not working now, so for goodness sake, it's like, have I ever done this before? Messing around with the sound and getting everything sorted. Bit of a pain, but you can see we're in the game now. Apologies for the initial issues there. We've got Coltrane, we've got a bunch of these shooters. I saw Bloody Nine, we saw Soviet Slug running into the point here for the line, and then I was just saying that Macbeth had over there, and Rubbed, who we saw play last week, along with Major Normus over here for 82 AD on the left of the barn, all pushing up and trying their hardest to really muscle into that point. We'll get the other map up. I don't want to spend too much time on the map, but we'll get the other map up in just a sec, and I'll show you just how many OPs 82 AD have pushed up here. You can see they're also trying to take control quite effectively, it looks like over here, of these farm buildings out to the south of WM4. You can see Mage there, one of my fellow casters. I'm sure he'd have done a better job for that opener than I did. Nice. Well played by 82 AD there, and maybe it is the point that they've been hoping for as they cap with 1 hour 22 remaining. Okay, so now we have seen that initial cap. I didn't want to miss too much of the action here. Let's take a quick look at 82 AD's map, and you can see just how many OPs they piled into this F column, and they're just trying to take control as best as they can here. I'm curious about Queen's God down here, Popcorn Utopia, who's out on this wide flank. I'm not sure if there's going to be supplies going down, but these right now are looking like very attacking garrisons. They're going to be wanting to sort those out and make them kind of more defensive around WM4, but it's well played from 82 AD to get that first cap. Let's get back down in the action because the line aren't out of it yet, and this squad here, okay, they're getting artillery like crazy, and we'll go and have a look in a minute to see what's happening with the artillery mini game and defence. But this squad with Inferno, I saw Bloody Nine who just died there. Coltrane as well. They're good shooters, and 82 AD need to be careful, but right now they're absolutely devastating them with this artillery. Who have we got below us? Okay, here's a Panzer IV with who have we got? Tank Mohammed, Tank Moses and Tank Jesus. We'll see if they live up to their godly names. Don't know if that's Coletto Tank or Mr. Do Tank. Let me know in the chat. TL famous for their tank squads and tank plays. Looking at their garrison placement, quite interesting how many they've got up to the north here, but because they've still got Mammoth Radar as one of the back caps, I guess it makes sense to have them more dispersed here, but they're looking to keep wide pressure. You can see very attacking garrisons here with Item Old Leroy spawning in on this one down in D4. I'm hearing shots now on the tank. Want to make sure we catch any tank fights. And I think if we sort our highlighting out a bit better, we can see here is the 75 medium that just fired a shot there into the point. 82 AD just kind of trying to consolidate at the moment. Look at this tank setup here. Cosmos, one of the original tank assistants. Very responsive artillery here, not giving those tankers a moment to get out and repair. Good stuff from 82 AD. I'm again curious about what their defence strategy is, because it seems that they're fully on the guns at the moment, or have been quite effectively so far. They're maybe not so lucky for long though, as So Lucky and Swarm arrive along with Good Morning and Colonel Relish to give them what for. Here comes a light tank to the left of our screen here for the Allies. Looking to take a shot here on the side off of the Panzer IV, who's going to see them any moment. And here comes the heavy. Panther making its arrival there. Panther, like Panzer, Panther. Can't get my words out, but here comes the heavy then. And do we have a reciprocal heavy over this way, or is this the medium that we saw before? That's the medium 75 that we saw before. I think, hey, looking at the map here for 82 AD, and this is how they're taking care of the guys here on the line's artillery. We'll see how accurate that is by looking at the map here. Here they've reloaded now, doing their timer, letting them get in place, I suppose. Oh, having a bit of a readjust. Curious. Maybe they're going to move to a different position. Some of these tank snipes on the artillery now are very, very vulnerable. I mean, that one is very well known. The one over on the other side as well on top of the bunker is also very well known. And over this way, it's Belgian Gate City. We're in Bruges here at the Lions Artillery. We've got Squirrels, the Sando. Looks like I have accidentally joined the correct squad here. Manning the guns for the line. Le Grand Creek, look at these garrisons though. Pretty strong in defence here. The line, they know that they want to push hard on the middle point, so they have to set up those defensive garrisons in a way that's not going to cause them to be massively punished if they have to get back or if they lose one. But 82 AD doing a good job of just getting themselves set up here on the point at WN4. Let's have a little look at both the maps together. And here comes that recon plane that you can see on the left-hand map for the Germans. So that's a line recon plane, and you can see what we've been talking about before. They have to push, they're looking for the push, and it's in a perpendicular line here to the line between Le Grand Creek and WN4, meaning that it's very difficult for 82 AD to get out and around. They can't push down the road, they can't run out this way and kind of encircle this area. So decent front line set up here from the line, and then trying to get a flank around in F3 with the airhead. In terms of 82 AD, just literally hunkering down around those farm buildings down in F4 and into F5, and obviously you can see all around WN7. Golf Squad putting pressure on that garrison, and Dog Squad for the line up here in D3. Let's get back into the game and have a bit more of a look at some of these tank battles, because there is a heavy moving up. We can see in the backfield there, highlighted in red for 82 AD, but for now it's the Panthers battlefield as they sit surveying the point here. We've got Mr. Do Bossman and Atrocity, so I guess Moses, Jesus and Mohammed are Coletto and crew, who we can kind of see vaguely in front of us in that Panzer IV. And I'm guessing for now this is just HE shells being fired into the barns there, trying to stop them from being able to kind of set up any garrisons and things inside the barns here. No covered OPs for you. And as I say, 82 AD, they have had every other middle point so far. They've played Utah enough times that they've had every other middle point as allies. This is, you know, for them to keep on playing it, I figured there must be one that they were waiting for. So I'm guessing this is their planned out strat. Will they be able to sit on this point for the rest of the game? An hour and 14 minutes of this. I see Soviet Slug, Baja, Chicken and Waffles, Bloody Nine, etc. You know, they're pushing them at these southern farm buildings, and it's a really difficult position for 82 to hold for a long time, especially against players of this caliber. You know, Chicken and Waffles was one of the top scoring killers, shooters, death machines, what do we call them, in the seasonal last time out, in spring seasonal. For the lovers of stats, you'll be pleased to know that we are bringing all the stats back to the Wednesday, the new Wednesday time of recapping. But look, Mannering versus Soviet Slug Ambrosiv Stalin here. It's not a good spot in this building to be in against two players who are that good. They've satcheled it as well here. Mannering's got to either get the satchel or get out. It's sitting in the building below him, you can see. About to get wiped out probably by that. And again, just going to show Soviet Slug might die as well. No, there's the explosion clearing the building out. Good stuff from the line. Textbook building clearance there, but Soviet Slug dead just at the wrong time. Chicken and Waffles having to fall back. I think OP needs to be replaced or something. Oh no, Baker OP looks okay. Trying to get back for something. Chicken and Waffles to the right hand side of our screen here, but allowing cannon fodder to move up. Adamov as well. Okay, so here is a heavy tank for 82 AD, and I think they may have another one as well. Yes, they do. Sitting over there, we can see just kind of behind the bushes. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully. Hopefully everything's going okay now, not too many technical problems. You can see my... I am speaking now out loud. The game sound is coming through. Apologies for the hiccups earlier. 2 heavy tanks then here for the line below us in D3. And is this what 82 AD want right now? You know, part of a good defense is understanding where you want to position your enemy, you know, where the enemy are going to be. And right now, looking at both these maps together, we can see there's so many 82 AD players inside the 4 squares of E and F, 3 and 4 here, which is the sector around WM4. And if you look, there's actually not so many for the line. And by being out here in D3, all of these players from the line are committing to this attack, but they're not actually providing any capture power. It's very difficult for them to run down this road. We'll take a look in just a sec to show what I mean. It's very difficult to run down this road in E3, and so they have to kind of go out and wide. And 82 AD, by concentrating on these buildings here and also fending them off a little bit, or just enough up here with Golf and Item doing some defending in E3, then, you know, they could keep them sort of at bay here. Let's get back into it though, and I'll show you what I mean about this road, because you can see where Coltrane, Dark Ninja 22 here, Gil, Inferno, they're all spawning in. Like right now we're here in D3, and they're all spawning in and dying across this open field and this horrible bridge, because if you can see up here, this machine gun symbol up in the far top window there is very, very easy to camp this whole area. And so Kurt over there, who it is for 82 AD, with the machine gun, is literally just chilling. You know, they can even get shot by tanks, and they can get shot from the buildings. You know, any nasty little angles out this way from the buildings they can get shot by. So a very difficult push for them. So good for 82 AD to be keeping them in this area. See a bombing run getting called in now, and that's looking to be in quite an effective area. Let's get up in the sky. It's going to fall here on this little building below us, kind of from us and away, it looks like, towards where Kolstad is there, firing the machine gun. Spearhead already dead in the buildings there. Kolstad does make it out alive, and actually the Lions bomber run not that effective there along that trench line. No one was there, it turns out. Soviet Slug and old Leroy stuck outside of the barbed wire though, and getting destroyed by the retreating 76. Interesting how these tanks kind of haven't engaged that much. I'm a bit surprised that the Coletto tank in particular hasn't been a bit more aggressive. I'm guessing this is the Mr. Do tank again over here that we're seeing in a big fight here. Yes, with Bossman and Atrocity. Did they just win that one? Maybe. They might have actually just won that fight, I'm not sure. I can't see the 76 on the map anymore, so if we go over there, I wonder if we'll find a destroyed carcass of a 76. Yes, we do. Okay, so that's, I think, the first really big tank battle and first tank kill there, or significant tank kill of the game. And it goes to the line, kind of unsurprisingly, I'd say, given the strength of their tankers. But 82 AD still doing a good job here on these buildings. Cannon fodder pushing up again, who we saw before. However, never good when you've got a Panther pulling into your critical areas. I wonder if they've got a marker on it here. I can't see the markers, of course, for, well, either team, but especially not 82 AD, not on the screen here. But if they can get a marker on it and prepare that 76. Oh, good lord. absolute carnage at the farm building there. I don't think this Panther are going to be able to get a shot. You know, there's no shot like through here. Maybe if they get sufficiently high, perhaps this is what they're thinking, if they can get on this ridge. A little hill, but I don't think that they can see over there far enough. They're going to have to go round further if they're going to want to flank around on the 76. But as I say, the deeper they go, the more they risk getting a marker, and if they can be marked, then the 76 might have a slight advantage in terms of the cover here, because they won't be the ones who are having to kind of negotiate difficult corners and come out blind. They can basically hard scope at wherever the marker is, as long as they've got somebody there watching it for them. Thorpe goes down to the Panther. Thorpe, a very experienced player, so quite possibly going to make sure there is a marker on it. And we've got Clicker and Favourite here in the 76, so we'll stick with them just for a moment. And this is that OP that Cannon Fodder is doing such a great job of pushing from. Pushed up nice and close. Okay, you're going to get artillery, but the artillery can't destroy the OP, and it does allow them a really short run to the farm buildings there. See the Panther kind of falling back, trying a different tactic here. However, another Panther, obviously, with Mr. Do having won that battle, it's getting dangerously close here, closer than 82 AD would like. And the Germans, of course, with a tank advantage anyway in terms of the actual the Panther versus the 76 now in this update, and now with a numbers advantage too, doesn't make it at all easy here for 82 AD. Looking at 82 AD's map, you could see just a moment ago their flare going up in the sky, and I'm guessing there's a tank marker here, although we can't see it because of the squad we're in, but that's exactly where that Panther is, Mr. Do's Panther. So this could well get shot right now. Yes, a direct hit. Very nice there from, I believe it's Jem, who's the commander on 82 AD. I will just double check so I'm not calling out the wrong person. But yep, very nice stuff from Jem there. And that somewhat evens the score. However, and I've said however about 13 times at this point, the Panther here with the shot advantage on the 76 is going to have the final say, and that's big for the line. This is where 82 AD's infantry need to be able to win their fights and pull their weight. It's a shame they can't. Oh, that rocket was pretty close. It's a shame they can't take that tank out themselves, but they are slightly injured. You can see a few sparks coming out, I think. Oh no, maybe that was a ricochet, that shot before from the 76. Yeah, I think it was actually a ricochet, and that's that very difficult sloped armour on the Panther, saving them from that shot there. But they are falling back a little bit. They're going to want to go wide around now. Mannering chasing. Let's sort our speed out here. I don't know, just going for crazy kills. I don't know what he was doing there. Probably already fired his flare, so just looking to... Oh, J. Neal. So close. Has he got a rocket or a satchel? Satchel. J. Neal's going to get shot in the back. It's not going to happen. Joseph Stalin with the collapse. Where's the good old-fashioned rockets, guys? Between Hoda and J. Neal there, unfortunately they could have had enough shots maybe just about on the Panther, at least to stop it and slow it down and send it back for repairs, but possibly to destroy it. Unfortunately going for the satchel and costing them dearly. Just looking at the movement of these line players with Hobbs and Inferno, Coltrane as well, managing to actually get down that road that we were saying is so difficult before. And again, that's because of that tank domination. You know, 82 AD having to soak up the pressure down in the south makes it very difficult to hold them on this side. But Kurt here with the machine gun, maybe now covered from where he was just getting shelled at. You saw the building blow up from the tank there, yeah. Or maybe it's an AT gun. This AT gun here in D3 probably. But Kurt now with a different position and good shots here on Hobbs and Bloody Nine across the field. And nothing that AT gun can do is going to stop him now. Somebody over there, Shadow with the MG42 just blind firing. And here comes smoke now for these 3 perfectly active artillery guns for the line. And Bloody Nine, Taco-tastic looking to get in the front. Dr. Ty already did. Bloody Nine with the nade. Probably got quite a few of those. He's rocking that grenade class. And the tank taking care of whoever that was in the doorway, whose name I missed and is now lost to history. Basically on the hour mark here, and Bloody Nine looking to be the only line player to get inside win 4, but does he have a satchel, or did he bring his nades? Quite a few nades were thrown, so is this the grenade class? I lose track because I don't remember all of the guns that go with the different classes. Somebody's screaming at the screen right now saying, no, he's got the Gewehr, so he's a grenade guy. See another heavy tank moving up in the far distance there, a red silhouette. So we'll see what they can do in a moment. I think that Panther actually went down. Shame we didn't catch that. I thought the line were maybe going to have a successful push there, but 82 AD with a great defence again, it looks like, of this building over here. Raw, nice artillery there. Let's go and check their artillery again, because right now they are still firing. Swarm, you can see, trying to get shots on them, but Fergie has been able to fire a few. Looking to return fire. Going to get shot now though. Got to change. Oh no, he's aiming. I don't see any rockets, so I'm just kind of waiting to see things explode. But nothing at the moment. Fergie goes down as Pony spawns in. Swarm then is doing a pretty good job over here of silencing that artillery, but they obviously got a few shells in. Quite well spread out all down the map here. I'm looking down this road towards LeGrand Creek, and 82 AD really, if we see both maps, filled that whole space in, and you can see they've barely changed almost their OP setup from when they took the point. They're just absolutely swarming this road, pushing down as far as they can, getting past the farm buildings. Okay, they're defending from outside of their defensive sector, but the further they can get the line towards LeGrand Creek, the more spread out they can make themselves on this road, the harder it's going to be for the line to get through over there. You can see that they're trying as hard as they can, but they are kind of stuck up against these hedges. They're still, I guess, getting shot from who was it? It was Kurt on that box over there behind the buildings across the road. They do have tanks moving up again though, but there are tanks on the other team too. This is our TL tanks, and then below us, I'm trying to look on the map as well. There it is. This is our guy in F4. Taking a shot from one of the Panthers. Good shot from them. Oh, they went the other side of the hedge, just thinking, well, they're reversing, so maybe we'll hit them. This is a tricky spot though for the 76. They're kind of stuck here, but it seems like that Panther's given up on that angle for the moment. While the other, so Panzer IV is just firing on WM4 here still. 57 minutes in the game remain, and 82 AD doing a pretty good job. Moonrider says, where can I bet? Well, we had to get rid of gambling because so many people have, you know, a problem with it. So, especially me, just remembering to implement it. That's the main problem, really, if anything. But we'll take them over high ground. We sometimes gamble on the channel with channel points. Put it like that. Thought I heard the tank get blown up then. I'm just trying to swing around and catch things from the Germans' point of view as Bloody Nine, Gill, Dr. Ty or Dirty, Coltrane, all kind of stuck along this edge here. Okay, they've got tank support, but the tank can drive through that barbed wire. They can't run through it, so either the tank pushes right up and goes through and then is by himself inside, or tries to cover them as they cross the field, but there's too many angles for the tank to really cover effectively. So pretty tricky from them. Mike Lawrence just, I don't know, being a troll here on the Panzer IV, shooting him right in the front. Demoralising. What is this amazing positioning here from Tank Mohammed, Tank Jesus and Tank Moses. Godlike positioning behind this little shed. Hidden from the 76, got shots on WM4. Great stuff. The 76, they know what's coming. They're reversing out of the way. I'm very impressed here though by 82 AD, and you know, I've covered them quite a few weeks in a row now, and I've seen them really progress. I think obviously they're a team who's been around a really long time, like a really long time, but they're just, you know, they've had people come and go. They've kind of had their highs and lows. You know, they used to be very, very successful. I remember watching their 18 versus 18 games, and Gem as squad leader, very, very successful in that. Nice hit here from the 76, and the Panther is not stuck on the wall necessarily, but this could cost them dearly. Oh, and a ricochet there on that second shot from the 76. They're unhappy about that for sure. That's very unlucky, but great, again, great movement, great positioning from Tank Jesus there to be able to turn that diagonal armour, that corner armour against the shot and basically tank it, pun very much intended. Thank you, Moonrider, for your help. I'm glad I got it fixed before half an hour delay with the mic not working. Everyone typing in chat now because we're obviously half an hour behind. Very much appreciated. Okay, now before you say we can't see anybody's name tags and we can't see any of the action, I'd argue that from up here we can see quite a lot of what we need to see, which is that 82 AD have a good control here of WM4. They've even pushed right round into this hedgerow, which is again stymieing any attack from the line. They're holding them back. They've still got their garrison up here in D3. The line is completely unthreatened, so people will keep spawning in there. And all the while that they do, it's actually not a bad thing for 82 AD, because it's people who aren't spawning and pushing this farmyard. But all of the 82 players who are defending this farmyard have done an absolute staggering job so far. Cahoots now gets a kill on Hobbs. They've been practicing their coordination here, I think, 82 AD, and they've got some decent shooters in the team. And this is the spot for them, as Cheeks, Inferno, Chicken and Waffles, the legendary Chicken and Waffles, pushing this house. Another satchel on the house, doesn't kill anyone this time. They're already dead, but already Kolstad, Fingers pushing in as Inferno, Chicken and Waffles, Cheeks, Brosif, Sivs as well, great player, all pushing really hard at the farm buildings. But look at cannon fodder, spawn behind Chicken and Waffles, gets the kill, pushing up on Inferno already. Being so aggressive here, 82 AD, in their defense, that this tank having to fall back. Look at this close artillery support as well that they've got going on. And what I was saying before, I've seen this team go from sort of medium organisation with ambitions to seemingly a very strong team here, as they're able to sit on top of this point for the best part of half a game so far. Brosif Stalin is probably the closest here that the line has been in a while. Can maybe hear Fingers moving about, but Scipio here, I'm trying to get everybody in shot. Scipio gets shot by Brosif, but Brosif's exposed himself to Fingers now, who peeks the corner, gets destroyed by artillery maybe, that kills this AT gun. That could be artillery from the line. They do have a couple guns active. I'm still curious about what 82 AD is actually doing to stop them, as they don't have any kind of tank snipes that I can see set up. Maybe I'm missing something. Cahoots on Brosif gets the kill, as Jimmy again pushing the field. They need to get themselves back to this building, and that's a good point of what they're doing here with the OP positioning of 82 AD. They've got their OP back here with Sir Lucky. They've got Cahoots spawning over this way, but then past the buildings they've got Hellbro, they've got I forget who the other squad leader is here, Macbeth. You know, they've got a bunch of people over here kind of pincering this building, so any time that the line get in there and do capture it, they're still being pushed from both sides. And it's very smart plays here from 82 AD to really keep the enemy as basically outside of the sector. Okay, they've still got some, and they have to accept that they're going to have some to deal with, but they're leaving a lot of players back themselves in defence. And you can see a whole ton of people dotted around. Not as many OPs set up now though. I'll be curious to see if they do try and get something going on the attack. The thing 82 AD have to be really careful of though here is to not have people randomly spawning at these garrisons who don't need to be, and coming off defence, you know, when they're needed and required to defend here at WM4, as we are almost halfway through the game. I want to go and check the artillery again. I don't want to miss too much over here. I see supplies dropping for the line, but this artillery is basically firing the entire time. They're not getting blown up by anything that I can see or hear, so I don't know what 82 AD's strategy here is for taking out the Lion's artillery. Just deal with it. It doesn't seem pleasant, but maybe it's being effective. And they've still got their own gun actually up on the beach, which is quite remarkable. I'm not seeing any explosions. I'm not just watching them for no reason. I'm just waiting to see if anything, you know, any rockets come. Not that the bazooka's really good for that, but you know, if any tank shells or anything like that come and take them out. But it looks like they're fairly uncontested at the moment. And of course, we looked at the 82 AD map, and you can see there's nobody back there from recon or anything like that, trying to take them out. So for the moment, 82 AD just sucking up the artillery, which is respectable, you know. you got to accept in this game that sometimes you just cannon fodder. Speaking of which, let's catch up with Cannon Fodder Bob, who again has the flank on these line players and actually can see their OP, which is just getting relentlessly artilleried, and maybe they're not even going to try and take it out. I don't know. Oh no, Scipio's just taking it out there, but dies to his own artillery. But yeah, I wondered if they were just kind of letting them spawn there and almost farming them. Great defense again of this building though. That 76 pushing up really nicely and almost going to have the back possibly of these Panthers. They can hear them firing. You can see the gun is turned and everything. It's like they're honing in, you know. It's like they can tell exactly where they are through this little gap, and this could be an absolute snipe. I didn't even see the gap until just now. Oh my god, they get hit themselves from the 76. And get one in return. Will the 76 be able to still get a shot? Maybe. It's going to be close. No, they don't. No, they don't. But nice stuff here from that 76 to hold their own against the tank here from the line. And falling back to Clicker. Favourite War Dog, who we saw War Dog a few weeks in a row being our sit in the tank and snipe the arty guy, showing that he's got more to his game than just changing seats. And that is a recon plane going over the top for 82 AD. The Grand Creek was contested there for just a minute. Love squad for 82 AD, the ones doing the contesting, just hanging out down here in D6. And this is what we were talking about before. We've got Hellbro over here, we've got Popcornucopia, and we've got E-Venom as well. 3 squad leaders down here, all spawning on this garrison. Are they warming up for a proper coordinated attack, or are people just having a moment of, you know, trying to get away from being blown up every 5 seconds, and could that cost 82 AD up here in defense? But again, with the precision strike, this is quite a good strat, it seems, for taking out these good tanks, these line tanks. I don't know if it's this one below us that's getting struck. We'll see in just a second. Here come the planes. Or maybe it hit it already. Perhaps it was this one. Perhaps we just missed it. Still 2 heavies in the game though. And a miss from General with the rocket. Has drawn some fire. Some of the wrath of the Panther tank. I can't believe these guys are still alive up on the top here. This is like where noobs go to die. Recon plane for the line between WM4 and Hill 5. They've had to send a couple of squads back in defence now, so they can't fully push as they have been doing. Love and the Gap back here defending the Grand Creek. But I'm slowly seeing, in this 43 minutes left in the game, right? So not like, there's still a long time to go. We're halfway basically in the game, but if we look at, excuse me, wrong button. If we look at this map of 82 AD, I'm seeing more and more people. Look at all these OPs going up down here. They do not really need to have their OPs here. Well, I mean, I don't know what their plan is, their strat, but this seems risky. because tons of people now can't be spawning out OPs in defense. We saw it contested there just for a second, and instead they're spawning somewhere that's not even a relevant sector. If it was in here and actually providing some attacking power, I would more understand it. But right now, and with the loss of this garrison down here as well, it's kind of curious to me. You can see they're kind of getting engaged here with Nagat. I understand trying to send people back, but they do need to be so careful not to give up on this defense, because it has been an excellent and very valiant defense, I have to say, from 82 AD here on WM4. And you know, I don't want to sound too surprised here, but I think it's fair to say they're the underdog coming into this one, despite the fact that TL haven't played in HCA for a couple of weeks. Last week was their bye week, and before that they had their gimme against Evo, so they kind of haven't played in a little while. But TL are a great team. What was that? They just got exploded over there. I missed that one. I think the 76 might be behind us, coming up from the beach, unless it was Kurt shooting at a supply truck or something with the machine gun, or perhaps look, it was this AT gun. And they are actually starting to cap LeGrand Creek, but at the expense, and this is exactly what I was talking about before, at the expense now of having two Panthers inside the middle point. And this is not... Capping's great. Capping while you've got two enemy heavy tanks inside your own middle hard cap? Unnecessary, I would argue. This has got to be a Coletto tank here. Talking about Tank Jesus, for sure. Driving around. This is a classic Coletto kind of play here. Kolstad, do you have a satchel, my friend? This is your chance. They just fired their shot. They're going to get the machine gun out now. Too late for Kolstad. And maybe too late for 82 AD. Look how many line players are now getting up to the barbed wire and potentially even through it. They need to be so careful here, 82 AD. They've done such a good job of defending that they're now really on a back foot situation. Does Gem have enough for a bombing run? No. Only 127 munitions left in the pot. Look at Gil, Shadow, Tacotastic. We've got Hobbs, we've got Soviet Slug all pouring in through the barbed wire, and this is very bad for 82 AD. This is what they were doing so well, is keeping them outside that annoying barbed wire. It's a problem of the maps here. You can't destroy that barbed wire, and it's just got these horrible pinch points, but they were covering them. But now, under absolute artillery assault as well, with all three guns firing from the line, raining hell here on the middle point. 82 AD with 39 minutes left in the game are being capped on. Although somehow they've actually got cap advantage on LeGrand Creek with the cap race going, which is kind of crazy. And there's actually basically no one back here for the line, so they might have to send some people back in a minute. But it's very, very, very close here on this cap race, and still a couple guns active on the beach for 82 AD. But look at this now with Soviet Slug. Good morning. We've got Gil inside the buildings. This is terrible. We've got Panthers still inside the point. It's all going to pieces. Why 82 AD? It was going so well, and then I don't know if people were just acting like blueberries and redeploying where they're not supposed to redeploy. They just wanted to have a break from getting blown up, like we were saying, or if it was like an actual strat. But they put themselves in the wrong spot, and it's allowed this swarm in. Thorpe, why do you always spawn right where I see you get destroyed? Thorpe is literally like one of the top killers in this whole game internationally. Every time he's on my cast, gets owned by artillery or something. Look at this. TL absolutely inside WM4 now. They've got their airhead down. That basically could not have gone worse there for 82 AD. That was an absolutely textbook attack. and still kind of wasting some time, to be honest, with some players around LeGrand Creek. Still got, who's this, Popcorn Unicorn, okay, recon squad, it's allowed, but should be back here. Come on, that artillery is so damaging. And now we see 37 left in the game. And 82 AD will be absolutely kicking themselves at this point. And it's going to come down to, look at this valiant but insane play here. Basically pointless use of the recon vehicle there. In frustration, I'm guessing, as much as anything. Still got a 76 sitting behind the point, but it's not in the right position now for Hill 5, and they've already got line players inside and capping at Hill 5. And look, they're just having to spawn people back en masse. They've not got a good garrison situation here at all. They've kind of neglected the Hill 5 garrisons, if anything, or they've been dismantled perhaps. I haven't been watching them, but H5, the only one, and it's down that classic spot. I'd be very surprised if we don't hear some kind of bombing run or something coming out on them at this point. Let's get that up. Supplies dropping then, that was what we just heard on Mike OP here at Hill 5 as TL, as I say, swarm WM4, take it in style. That tank's actually gone down maybe to the heavy from 82 AD, and they've still got decent garrisons up for pushing, but they need to, you know, sometimes it's very tempting to immediately go on the counter offensive, and when you do that you can easily not defend, and that's what we might just see here at Hill 5 in a second. When this garrison gets built, TL will have 30 seconds, and then everyone who they can, they will redeploy. If they can, if it's not spawn blocked, they'll get them back here at Hill 5. And right now you can see where they're going to build it. It's like right on the edge of the point there where Bujaj is. Could have gone further down the hill. Probably would have been sensible to go further down the hill this way. It would have been more likely to be unblocked, because you can see 82 AD here have a very difficult push again with this immovable and quite frankly cancerous barbed wire that we've got here. They've got a very difficult push, but okay, they might not be able to, excuse me for that, might not be able to get into the point here, but they certainly might be able to get within 100 metres, as we're seeing here. I mean, Capital well within 100 metres, but even here at the barbed wire. So if TL had managed to build their garrison a little bit further back, you know, back over in this field or something like that, they could have kept 100 metres if they just kept them outside the barbed wire. But for now, can't even do that as General moves up. There's one OP that I can see in the corner by the bunker there, where those guys just spawned in a second ago. Will they come in before it gets destroyed? No, they won't. General with the OP. Unerum with the garrison. Bit of a frantic and kind of sketchy defence here of Hill 5, but certainly accomplished pretty effectively in the end. Over at WM4, TL, as we've said, they still do have a bit of a counter-attack, but it's not from an ideal angle coming in from the buildings here to the north. You can see they've actually got players stuck out on that island in the middle of the field, which is not, again, not an ideal place for them to be. Very hard for them to attack from there. So pretty tricky, but TL managing to take the entire compound, push 82 themselves outside of the barbed wire, and we've got Sunlight, we've got Oleg inside the barbed wire, but not in an easy spot. Kiro below us doesn't even live to try and run to the barbed wire. Oh, 82 AD. I mean, I am still impressed, to be honest, but I was kind of rooting for the underdog there. And look at this area, area control now. Those buildings that were under such good control from 82 AD, now in the hands of Chicken and Waffles, Baskara, Sando, Cheeks, Bros of Stalin, all of those great shooters. And Thorpe out alone. Let's watch Thorpe and see if we can have him not be cursed. But Thorpe, as a rifleman, kind of the only player here. Chicken and Waffles versus Thorpe. What a battle. Chicken and Waffles getting shot about 9 times and not dying there. Maybe that's the secret to high KD. Don't die. Good grief. Look at the fire there from Thorpe and Chicken and Waffles. Just within a split second of each other. Left-hand peek here from Thorpe. Decided to retreat. The radar's saying that it's Chicken and Waffles. He's like, no, I don't want any of that smoke. I'm going to reposition. Chicken and Waffles then with the push. A decent nade, but Thorpe with a better angle gets the kill. Big battle there. Chicken and Waffles goes down. Thorpe, squad leader Wen, always gets himself in great positions. You can see here an OP would be great, but only able to murk people with a Garand, unfortunately. So we'll leave Thorpe to his killing spree. Let's go and catch up with this squad here. Hellbro, the squad leader. Again, trying to flank around and push from the road. Good kills there. But it's a difficult push up the road to the north. They kind of want to cross over and maybe get into the back of the chapel. But it's a very sort of predictable run and easy to get them killed, as we see there. Who's this getting machine gunned? Is that S down there with the machine gun? I think it is. Just lighting them up. Great kill from Hodder. Not standing for that for 1 minute. Does not want to get machine gun. Just no. Okay. Can he go 2 for 2 here? Right about now, don't forget to check out that DC Core game, get it up on another window. It's probably started and past the delay by now, so you'll be getting into the gameplay pretty soon, I hope. That's a pretty big game over on Hill 400. DC going for all of the crazy maps, trying to prove something, I think. Certainly that's what Wakanda seemed to suggest earlier. Han Solo kills Hodder after his little patrolling quest we followed him on there. But again, let's look at these maps, and you can see 82 AD more confused now than what they were, you know, in terms of their kind of positioning. And I'm not saying that in a sense of like it's bad positioning, but it's much harder from where they are now to accomplish multiple goals with your positioning. By that I mean, you can see Item and Fox Squid up here in G3. They're pushing towards WM4, but at the same time they are in a non-relevant sector, as it were. This isn't providing any defensive or, you know, capturing power. Equally having to fight off, like they are here with Love and who's this, Jig Squad, fight off those players who are all amassed around the buildings in front of LeGrand Creek. And again, they're outside of their sector. You know, before when they were defending WM4, they could basically stay inside the sector, inside the hard cab, and keep their enemies at bay, and a lot of them keep them actually outside of that sector. Right now they're kind of having to pick defense and attack, both in sectors that aren't providing any defensive power, so a bit vulnerable to a flank. They've got okay garrison set up behind Hill 5, but we see here Taco Tastic down in G7 looking to get wide, although I'm not quite sure what Colonel Relish and Able Squad doing down here. It looks like they're just placing a million supplies. Maybe that's where they're shooting the rockets from. We'll go and have a quick look at that. I guess so, because we've got Tiger here with the Panzer Shrek, yeah, and like a million drops of ammo, which is almost too many, I feel like. You can only restock once per death. Let's watch the shot now. Wrong gun, but it doesn't matter because Swarm's already shot Fergie. They need to help these guys and I guess they are. Starlord there with a great shot in defence of the RT, but Good Morning still lurking around. And here we can see those attacking players from 82 AD all stuck to the hedges, and that's again one of the problems of attacking from this side and up from the north as well, is that you kind of have to follow these predictable lines. And even Hellbro squad here in the chapel are in quite predictable areas, and they are now facing the same difficulty that TL were facing just a few minutes ago, and having to push this difficult angle whilst also having their side split, you know, their team split in half. But old Leroy, Soviet Slug, Hobbs over here, all of these with Tacotastic now spawning back at this garrison, should be well easily defending against this, as I say, pretty predictable push, as it gets predicted exactly by artillery from 82 AD. They get whittled down and their forces depleted before they even get into the gunfight, and then once they arrive they've got some great shooters to go up against. Cahoots though, it looks like, with some decent kills. Soviet Slug the only one remaining for the line, probably going to trade with Mike, but Cannon Fodder Bob might get him on the reload. Doesn't, somehow. Soviet Slug with the kill. Hobbs took out the squad leader, who I didn't catch the name of. I've forgotten. Literally memory of a goldfish. If you could keep the chat in English, I'm sure other people in the chat would appreciate it, but nothing I can do about it. Okay, so right now we're obviously floating above WN4. We're looking over the top of the tank here with Atrocity and Bossman sitting in it. Mr. Do potentially just coming from the garrison in a moment, I'm not sure. Or maybe just standing around outside. Yep, standing around outside, just chilling. Probably trying to use the binoculars. And this is an important skill, you know. The TL tank squads are lauded, you know. Everyone says how good they are. Mr. Do showing off a vital skill here of a tank commander, letting the tank do its one thing and hide maybe, or stay quiet, or taking shots, using the binoculars to try and place markers. And they need to as well, because I can see over on the horizon we do have a lurking 76 now firing over the head of Coltrane, who we might have on later. Not commanding, excuse me, anymore for TL, it seems. Oh dear. SOP getting absolutely decimated by Inferno with the machine gun. Let's get a moment of silence to feel what it's like here, being a 82 AD player. I'm obviously not being suppressed, they are. And they just know, even with the smokes, this is such a predictable route here with the alleyway that they're very likely to get shot. Can't even throw that far. Kiro out of the smokes now. Where did he go? Still getting camped by Dirty and Coltrane though. .76 very likely marked. I can't see it on the map here, but almost certainly. Recon playing with Dark Ninja, flanked right around Hill 5, putting pressure on from the south. Looking at both maps together, you can see the two heavy tanks both having to dedicate themselves up north in G3 here for 82 AD, as they've still got people pushing predictable routes down the road, down the hedge line here. This is that hedge line we saw get bombed earlier, or artilleried I should say. I want to see if these tanks can do anything in support of the push, but it looks like 82 AD are going to really be struggling to get into WM4 after that, and I'm literally gutted for them. That was so strong. Their defence was so strong. But look now, we've got players from the line taking Chapel. We've got Bloody Nine, Sieves, Chicken and Waffles, Roses Starlin, who we've been watching all game, moving up into Chapel, pushing Hill 5 from the front. Supplies as well falling here in H6, ready for Good Morning, who we can kind of see over there, looking to go and play something on them, although I can actually see we've got our defender robbed. Probably going to see those supplies falling as well and be looking to kill Good Morning and take them out. Scipio and Starlord as well over there. So this flank probably unlikely, in my opinion, to be successful. Very open map here for dropping supplies, and there goes Good Morning. Supplies will be next, but it might be just enough to get a few people to spawn back there, and that could be all this squad needs. Chicken and Waffles, the squad leader, pushing up this ditch. We can see here in F5 Baker squad coming up against Sir Lucky here, Charlie squad for 82 AD. Sir Lucky didn't make the grenade throw, didn't make the jump, and here comes the artillery. Parafunk with the rocket too. Don't know if that was actually, could have been 82 AD infantry, artillery, excuse me. This is a precision strike now for 82 AD over the point, and it does take out Mr. Do's tank. Sick of getting shot by that, but will it be enough to help them move up? This is where their tankers need to be pretty bold. I heard them, there they are. Who we got? Ginger Scotsman, CJ, Addy and Victrix in the 76 here below us. That is a 76, yep. Very hard, you know, this is where we were talking about this line down this road here in G3. Very difficult push for 82 AD, and then they get into that bunker if they're lucky, and you know, that's, we've seen them struggling from there as well. Dirty Dan up in the window. This is where the 76 needs some HE shells on that house, and just to generally help the push here, because look at that artillery basically on top of the OP, just slightly out of time with the spawn wave. But Dirty Dan with the machine gun fire, Coltrane, Shadow as well with machine gun fire, tank now shooting as well. And as I say, this is where 82 AD are going to struggle if they can't get their tanks coordinated. I'm just trying to look at both maps. Here's one, here's the other by Tar Green and H3. They've got to do something here. If they're ever going to be able to attack, they can't just sit back. They've got to get in there. But already they've taken a hit from something. And another. Sitting back, didn't even work. Excuse me while I mute for my sneeze. But TL dominant as ever with the tank plays. Very, very strong, as we expect by now. Kind of surprised that they're not pushing a bit harder on Hill 5. We can see the line very dispersed, very spread out. Spawning a lot of people back here in E5 near LeGrand Creek still. Not sure. Maybe that's just like a counter against the 82 AD players who are also playing in that area. Maybe the line are just kind of using it as like a staging post, get people down to place those supplies and things down in the buildings here where they were firing the rocket shots from, etc. Not sure. But yeah, quite a few. You can see quite a few line players actually outside of WM4 sector. We've got Love Squad, Howl Squad, Fox, Queen, we've got Sarge, the commander, all of them actually outside of that defensive sector, but enough here, and this is, you know, it's almost easier this way for the Germans to hold WM4 than it is for the Allies, and especially if they're going to get themselves highlighted here on the point. This is, well, not on the point rather, but on their OPs, on their garrisons near the point. Cannon fodder Bob about to lose the OP. There it goes. Dark Ninja skid steering around the corner as Sivs kills Black. Cannon fodder Bob, the only one alive, needs to put down an OP, but just lost one. Can't stay alive long enough versus the artillery, and here comes the Lux on the point as Broseph, Stalin, Kebab, Bloody Nine all push up. Han Solo as well moving in from the north as that airhead falls, or is that supplies? Sorry, I'm looking at the well in my low poly settings. That supplies falling, and Tacotastic maybe going to build a garrison, perhaps somebody else following up. We've got old Leroy here, one of them probably going to build something, you'd hope. Chicken and Waffles now moving up as well, but Vicecop with good shots here, a long way off to take out that push from the west. Stupor, Cheeks and Half Eaten having to move wide here. Oh, Leroy's birthday apparently. That's nice. Many happy returns, Leroy. Kiav says remove Artie. Disagree. Still just spawning people on this one garrison here, and it's just getting absolutely camped. 82 AD struggling with their defense, and Kolstad, what are you going to do against the Lux? Not a lot. Is he going to fake him out? Make him think that he's placed a satchel? The Dark Ninja's in the gun, can't even see that Kolstad's around. Just got to stand in front of the optic. But TL, you can see, moving well into Hill 5 now, and this is where, even if you die as a tank, sometimes it is good to get up there and disrupt. And a Lux is a perfect tank for it, to be honest. Absolutely devastating against artillery, and sometimes stuff like that happens where it doesn't even get destroyed from a direct hit. Just does a sick donut. And this is where TL's coordination, patience is really paying off. We can see from their kind of wider dispersion here and the capture progress on Hill 5 that 82 AD struggling to do much in response to this. They have got a whole bunch of people out here to the north. But it's a difficult push across these open fields for the guys here. Jimmy Hammer, Banshee, Mike Lawrence, Kolstad, Salaki, basically being held off here. Who have we got with the machine gun? Captain Black. Don't know if that's Blackadder. Oh, I'm so bummed out here for 82 AD. Just about defending Hill 5 here, but it was contested for a second. And the Germans now taking it again. The line, 13 minutes left in the game, looking to turn this 3-2 into a 4-1. Good push though from Salaki and Rubbed into the point. This bombing run though... Oh, it's not a bombing run. Excuse me. I'm getting my planes mixed up. It's supply drop from the line above Tar Green. Very ambitious. Close miss with the rocket there. I don't know who that was. TL tank going down, finally. That was this 76 over here. Great stuff from them to help with the defence at that point. Sorry for whizzing about so much, but I just wanted to see the angle that they had. My god, 82 AD defending, 12 minutes left. They've taken it back down to halfway capped. They've got to get better spawns set up, but right now it's only Kolstad who goes down. Vicecop, Jimmy in the point, none of them able to build any spawns as Chicken and Waffles S, Parafunkel moving in from the ditch to the right hand side there. Tank cover from the Lux, who's still up. Hellbro doesn't give a shit, just running straight across the field, straight at it. General though looking to get round behind for 82 AD, but I'm aware again, TL, you know, this to and fro here on the point, and 82 AD with by far the harder push, but artillery from both teams maybe absolutely devastating. No, that was, I think that was only the line artillery. We can see they've got all three guns firing right now, and not a single one is actually shooting for 82 AD. Slightly more random dispersal nowadays of the shell than they used to be. Frugal being mean about TL in the chat. He's obviously still watching from half an hour ago, because right now they are pushing hard on Hill 5 and making it a very difficult time for 82 AD, who finally get rid of that Lux. My god, they'll be glad of that. That's like a wart that they've now lanced, a horrible boil on their American asses. Look at this Panther here. Mike Lawrence not happy about it. Cannon fodder backing him up, getting shots on Gill way across the field, and gets the kill. Great stuff there. Jay Neal, previous guest of the stream, we see over on the AT gun. These guys are pretty savvy though out in the tank, and Ken and Taco Tastic kill the AT player as Cannon Fodder runs up, takes the OP, but reloading at the exact wrong moment. Taco Tastic with the kill, taking a few shots, but again not dying. Shot again, shot again. I don't know if this is like a hit reg thing. Still hasn't healed despite being shot about 13 times. Get shot again, this time it's final. But look at this now. We're looking at this tank. We're above the tank here in H4 with Atrocity Bossman and Mr. Do covering the northern flank of Hill 5 as the push from the west swarming again, swarming the point. Even Cosmos is inside the point at this stage, and that's artillery falling now from 82 AD as they also put a bombing run over the point. Will this be enough to contest it? Gems kind of misaligned it slightly. If it was the other way, like down this way, diagonal instead of that way. So people talk about changing the arty. What I think that they should make small changes before they do stuff like that. If you had the ability as the commander to have much more control of like the angle that you could use your abilities at, like if you click on the map and then scroll the wheel to put it in the right position instead of clicking and just getting like one of 5 predetermined angles, that would be much better. Also, can you please fix the running with the pistol out so it doesn't make me seasick, because it's the only animation that has head bob. But alas, for 82 AD, as we see them spawning in below us all in the sand dunes, looking to get back to Tar Green. The line take it to a 4-1 here on Utah Beach. Not long left in the game, 7 minutes now remaining, and looking over the top of Tar Green here, let's take a quick peek at the Allied map. We haven't had to hold on the Allied map at all this stream, which is good, because sometimes if the game crashes we end up looking at the Allied map for about 5 minutes. But in terms of their kind of garrison situation now, again, very split. But the problem with all of these along the beach here, Red Roof House, whatever the one down here is, that the name I forget, and then Tar Green up the top, the problem is that they're all so close to the edge of the sector that you kind of just have to hold this whole dunes area. And the other problem is, as soon as the enemy get round onto the beach, they can get such good shots on you if you spawn at the HQ, or if you're running around anywhere behind your point. It's basically game over. There's nothing you can do. So they have to now dedicate so many people to defending all the way along the whole of item column, or I column. And if we see both maps together, actually, oops, I had it right the first time. See both maps together, you can actually already see supplies here being dropped in HA, indicating that the line are looking to go really wide, get around onto the beach. I'd be surprised if they don't kind of send a tank up and around as well. It might be this recon with Bujaj and Dark Ninja in it, going out and trying to get onto the beach, trying to cover them from this way. Okay, they might get some people in defence at the moment, but how long can that last if they also get good pressure here with Item and Charlie Squad on Tar Green? Let's have a little look at Tar Green now, and you can see Item and Charlie Squad in blue moving up along with, I guess this is Mr. Do's tank here. If we can get close enough, yes, Mr. Do, Bossman and Atrocity in the tank here, pushing right into the point. The hardcat basically below us. You can see the marker here for Tar Green. And that's a German flare as well. Not what they want. Good morning. The guy firing it, I'm guessing, down here already behind the point. Cahoots maybe saw it go up and might have a clue that he's coming. Great kill from Cahoots. Or maybe it was rubbed actually. I was thinking Cahoots managed to kind of get him before his gun was practically up, but I think it was rubbed. But their OP will be back there somewhere. Here it is. Papa OP. As they're on my team, I could ping it, but I'm scared to ping anything nowadays. It's just over here to the left somewhere. We'll see him spawn in a moment probably. It's like right below us somewhere. Oh yeah, here. Spawned on it, got shot straight away, but probably going to be found out, that one. But yeah, look at this. Already got a Panther right up to the point. Fingers going down needlessly in the road. Ginger Scotsman out of the tank now and in defence as a support player. Thorpe below and to the left. Again, just on the rifle. Give this man a satchel. Put those kills to good use. No point killing a million people if you can't satchel the tank when you get there. Oh, another tank moving up from the side now. Fingers goes down for the privilege of getting a side shot on the Panther, which is never going to do anything. Hill 5 is being capped, so I want to kind of be careful, but TL, you know, look how strong they are over here at Tar Green, and they are taking Hill 5 back now, so I don't want to kind of miss it. Let's just quickly jump over there and have a look at the dispersal of everyone at least. 82 AD players, very, very spread out. Again, with like a lot of difficult pushing to do, coming from the south as well, but a long way off for now. So let's get back over to Tar Green, which is being capped. 3 minutes left in the game. There is enough time here for TL to get the 5-0. 82 AD will be pushing everybody to try and get it back to a 3-2, I'd imagine, leaving a couple people in defence here, but and looking at that map, that's exactly what they're trying to do. You can see this massive push from the south over at Hill 5, but for now it's looking more like a 5-0 to TL. 2:55 left in the game. Well, they have decided to defend here. 82 AD spawning a whole bunch of people back. Somewhat in vain, potentially, as they've already got a Panther shooting them. 2 Panthers, in fact, shooting them. Not ideal. And a bombing run way out in nowhere. G7 here from the line. Not sure why. More rockets just coming in from nowhere. How antisocial. Look at this. It can't last long. Tons of 82 players back, but maybe they're just trying to do this for their own dignity, but it's all too little too late, I'd imagine, with 2 Panthers up. Oh, the other one went down, did it? Yeah, 1 Panther down, but still another Panther up. J. Neal can't rocket it enough times up the backside. Bloody 9 with the machine gun on top of the bunker. TL are going to do it here, I suspect. More Panzerschrecks just dropping out of nowhere. Look at these. Just spawn wave after spawn wave, trying to hold it off and avoid this last minute defeat here. Is it going to be enough? A minute left in the game. They're over halfway capped, so it's still possible for the line here to win this one. Kolstad now behind the Panther, trying to line up for the rocket. Gets 1 shot, and they're stuck now against the tank trap. Kolstad maybe with a second shot as the satchel erupts to the right hand side of the screen here. Last 50 seconds. I suspect TL going to win it, because that garrison now destroyed and the OP's destroyed here. No way 82 AD can spawn in anywhere close enough to get back for this one, and with 40 seconds left in it, it's a 5-0 in the end after a great start for 82 AD, but 5-0 there for the line. What a game. What a game. My God, that was drama. Sarge is the commander then for the line, and Jem, who hopefully we'll speak to in a minute if he's not too pissed off, was the 82 AD commander. We'll scroll through, do pause the VOD, pause the stream before people leave. I'll try and get all their scores shown at some point. Let's just scroll through. It's going to take me to the XP. Ah, there we go. Everybody always leaves so quickly after the game. I don't know where they're in a rush to get to. Coming to watch the stream, I guess. Damn. I'm going to be going and raiding Core versus DC hopefully shortly, but fingers crossed we can get to talk to Gem at least in a minute. Maybe we're going to talk to Coltrane as well. We'll try and keep it brief, just see what their take is on the game. Hopefully I've had a look at everybody now. Massive scores from some people, but as I say, everybody kind of leaves. Look at this tank score, disgusting from Mr. Do and Atrocity. Tank Jesus as well, not doing too bad. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff from TL after a shaky start and a really unlucky one there for 82 AD. Let's jump over to the little pre-game area. I'll have a check on the server. Hopefully we can get some people in to talk to us. But let's jump over to our strat sketch real quick and take a look at kind of what actually happened. Now, we've already got these points highlighted, Hill 5 and WN7, which is where obviously all the action really took place. Okay, we saw LeGrand Creek get sort of a tiny bit capped there for the line, who had some great garrisons. Let's get our little Gary marker up, and we'll show kind of where some of those Garys were. So they had some decent Garys in a formation kind of like this, positioned basically around the sector. That last one's not quite right, but you know, they had like a sort of square garrison set up around LeGrand Creek. This is the Germans, obviously. Let's do them in blue so we can tell whose is whose. So these are not exactly accurate, but you know what I mean. They sort of had that 4 square around it, and then they had this one up here in D3, which they were using for ages for that push into the point down the road. And obviously we saw that the Allies had them largely covered from this building here, and also from positions inside WM4, and they were holding them off well. You know, that was good stuff from 82 AD. Then 82 AD had themselves some very good spawns. I don't know if they were Gary's, but let's just write spawn. And they were spawning down here as well in these buildings. They had people at the chapel. They had people spawning not actually in the farm there, but behind the hedge on the other side of the road. And so the people from chapel and then the people from here were clamping down on here, and then just a ton of people spawning out the back of the point, which is, you know, where they needed to be, and very, very, very important position for them to have tons of people in. And so they basically held this road down here, you know, and when, as I say, they were being able to push the farm buildings this way and also this way, which was huge for them, and that helped them so much. You know, they were up against tanks, they were up against that Coletto squad like for so long over at the farm buildings, and they held them off incredibly well. But then it all went to pieces, and for some reason, and I don't know quite why, and I get like why you would build a garrison down here, but everyone then, it was like 3 different squads built their spawns down here and started to, I don't know, mill around in drowned fields, and it was like, why? Then they start to kind of half push Legrand Creek, like not really even kind of going inside the hard point and just being in and around the area. I don't get it. I don't get what the play was there, whether that was like an accident or if that was like intentional. It just didn't work out. Hopefully we'll get to talk to Jem in a moment, and then we'll find out. Let's get over to the thing here. Oh yeah, no, he's here. He's ready. Hello. Oh, let's give him the roll. Jem, can you hear me? Hello? You're on mute. Suppress? Should be able to talk. Hold on. Let's give him all the rolls. Can you speak?
No. Now I
Hey, there we go. I don't know what was happening there. Thank you for coming on, firstly. And
hello.
commiserations, secondly. Yeah. What happened? It was all going so well.
All right. It's I think we felt the fact that we had only 2 tankers this time instead of the usual 3.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we capped the WN4 as everybody could see and stuff, and we had really big trouble to set up an offense. Like we couldn't set up anything to put pressure on the enemies, so we allowed them for too long to just push our point all the time.
Yeah.
And at one point, when one of our attacking squads just rotated away from the northwest side of the point and rotated more southwest, we kind of allowed enemies to come too close on the north, and then also when we destroyed a few tanks, suddenly they just popped up from nowhere. Like we had 2 tanks pushing in our strong point while our all tanks were just down.
Classic line tankers, that.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, which is I guess the worst thing, and that happens quite often to us, is that as soon as we set up a garrison for offense where we can fully commit to pushing the next point, which we actually did, that's when they started capping with those 2 tanks.
That's just the thing. Like, so from my point of view, obviously, like I'm not there for the planning, the briefing, all the command chat. We can't hear it. So from the sky, it kind of looked like you guys were just doing a great job, basically, of defending WM4. And like you sat there on the point, you had really great setup to the north and south of those farm buildings, like the ones, you know, just down to the south, the kind of farmyard area. You held off their attacking squads there like 4 times. And then, as you say, like you got that garrison set up, but it was almost like, I don't know, it's kind of like a bit too far away, and then people started to spawn back there, but they weren't like pushing as much. I mean, you'll obviously see on the replay, but like they weren't being able to kind of capitalize on it quickly, and so it just ended up taking players away from your defense at just, as you say, the wrong moment, basically, when they had 2 tanks up and you had none. And yeah, it just was like enough to cost you the point. And then getting back to Hill 5 was obviously like a difficult situation once you're back at Hill 5 and you only had that one back garrison.
Yes, we had really big issues as well to reestablish any control northwest and so on. We did at some point, but then it just got pushed by tanks again. So
yeah,
the tank engagements and making sure that the tanks stay alive kind of played a big role in this game, so we're gonna have to review it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, I'm sure going into this one, you probably expected TL tanks to be very strong. I think everyone kind of rates their tanks quite highly at this point. So you must have known, like, before going in, if you were kind of one tank crew down, thinking...
it would have been rough, yeah. But
Yeah.
actually, about that, we were obviously trying to deal with it with precision strikes, which I think were kind of successful.
They were really successful.
I wanna ask you a question because I don't know if it actually happened. I think, like, I dropped in. There was a Panzer IV and a Panther, I think, hugging one same bush, and then I dropped a precision strike. Did I actually get a double tank kill, or was it repair stations?
I'm not sure. I think you got 2 repair stations and a tank.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but you'll have to check the.
Maybe Sarge can confirm.
The VOD. Yeah, Sarge, welcome.
How's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Feeling good.
Feeling good after that one. Congratulations. Maybe off to a little bit of a difficult start there, is it fair to say? For a while, it was looking like you were struggling to get the attacks to pull off, but in the end, got the tanks in the point and...
Yeah, I mean, oh man, we couldn't break into WN4 for, like, what was it, like the first 30 minutes of the game? It was such a hard time. Yeah, it felt like every time we would get like key positions like Grandma's house or the hedge lines just west of WN4, we were immediately like pulled somewhere else, and then we'd end up losing it a few seconds later. It's really, really tough trying to retake that point. I'm surprised we actually got it.
Yeah, well, I guess we were just talking, me and Jem, about it, and it sounds like maybe it was just kind of a matter of timing. Like, they had their attack garrison that they've been looking to build for ages. They managed to just get it up, and right at that moment was also when your guys pushed with the tanks, and it was like just serendipity in the end, maybe, that was the exact moment. But you guys had a garrison up in D3 by Sunken Bridge that, you know, you were trying to push in from that northern road over and over, and you're just getting held off by the machine guns and the buildings and stuff, and it just looked like, yeah, like a real meat grinder, a slog for you. And Jem was using those precision strikes. That's what we were just talking about, precision strikes on the tanks to quite good effect. I don't know, did he get 2 tanks with one, or was it repair stations and a tank? Or
yeah, there was a moment when there was a Panzer IV and then a Panther and one hugging one same hedge. I'm just wondering if that precision strike actually got the 2 tanks, or was it just the repair station and a tank?
I know it got one of the tanks, the Panzer IV for sure. I'm not too sure about the other one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Panther,
but I think you had
pushed later.
Yeah, I think you had 2 successful precision strikes at least that I saw. One of them was like a direct hit. You literally see the bomb like hit the tank. It was incredible. But yeah, and then what was your, you know, once you've kind of taken WM4, what was your like idea then, Sarge? Did you, obviously maybe it was a bit of a surprise if you'd been thinking, God, but this is like difficult, we're struggling, and then all of a sudden you've captured WM4, then you got to think, well, let's not overextend and all the rest of it. But you guys moved up on Hill 5 pretty well, and then all the way to Tar Green in the end. Did you have, you know, was that the intent to just like finish it with the 5-0 for the whole time, or is it just keep the pressure up? And
well, yeah, it felt like hopeless trying to retake WN4, so when we finally got that, we really wanted to make sure that we didn't throw it away. It's a classic TL throw.
Someone mentioned that in chat. I hate to say it.
A reputation for that, but no, yeah, it's really just making sure we're clearing out the sector completely, just boxing out and holding on to those key areas like Grandma's house and Chapel, and you know, pushing from Hill 5 can be a struggle in itself too, because there's so many open fields. So it's really just making sure we have MGs put up in those like key positions to watch the fields and stuff.
Yeah,
And then once we get that, we could start working on, once
keeping the
we're like
tanks up and
comfortable with
stuff.
holding that, yeah, we get the tanks up, garrisons up, and we start playing for more map control and spreading people out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it worked. It worked well, and actually, to be honest, like right when you first captured Hill 5, you guys built a garrison, like a red line Gary, basically in the point at Hill 5. And if you just built it, I don't know, 50 meters further to the west, like closer to Chapel, you could have maybe dominoed it. You'll see it on the replay if you watch it, but like all the 82 AD players are having to run up the ditch, like into the barbed wire and up the hill, and your guys are like holding them off just for like a short time, and it probably would have been one spawn wave's time, but they just managed to get close enough to proxy the Gary, and it's like, oh, like so close. You were using the Panzerschrecks I saw in terms of your artillery attack from like WN7. I saw somebody standing down there with a Panzerschreck. Was it just Panzerschrecks on? I know you also sent the recons back. So, what was like the artillery strats for both of you guys?
Yeah, so our arty are like Rocketeers, I guess you could call them. They work in tandem with the recon players, and they sort of coordinate like what's going on in HQ, which arty guns are up, like where supply trucks and all that stuff are, and then the rocket people snipe it from halfway across the map.
Nice.
Well, from our perspective, we're kind of versatile with it, looking where it's going to lead. So we started with a tank snipe, obviously, which I think rendered ineffective later on because probably the line RT defense just adjusted. But and then we obviously had our own Rocketeers as well. So while TL were shooting from WN7, we were also shooting from John Fields on the west of them.
Right.
So we were like, and then our recon was trying to, that's also around between John Fields and WN7, like a sniper at least tried to like fight off the WN7 Rocketeers. So yeah, that was kind of, we didn't succeed on sending recon to enemy RT though, like
Yeah, I saw
the line
that.
did.
They just didn't manage to get back there, I guess. And you know, I don't know if you're, because I hung around the line's artillery a little while to see where the rockets were coming from, if there were any, and I think they had a pretty good kind of Belgian gate set up, and it didn't seem like you guys were on the guns pretty much the whole game, right, Sarge? Sorry.
Yeah, Mage was very happy about that. Yeah, no, we didn't have too much of a hard time with already our own.
But yeah, I was quite impressed actually by 82 AD RT. They managed to like stay up a surprising amount, being on the beach there. I mean, I've got to ask, Jem, with all the disadvantages that the Allies have with the artillery and with the guns and the tanks and the hard caps and you know all of it, why'd you keep picking Allies on Utah Beach?
We didn't.
You just end up with it.
We were forced. The line just made a pick first.
So has that been the case every time? Because you played it like 4 times in a row now, right?
Yes, we have played it, and it's mostly just because of
Just how it
the
ends
ban
up.
phase, how it ended up. Yeah.
I thought there was like some deeper
like
strat.
we were playing against Chinese team like recently, right? So we had to choose the server as well, just like we did it today for this game. So we kind of lose the first ban, and then if you don't choose the first ban, most likely you're not going to be playing as Axis anymore because
That's the preferred.
like the one who is actually banning, I think if the enemy team doesn't mess up, then they're gonna get access on whatever map they want to play.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, the ban phase is very interesting. So if all the people kind of watching who don't pay attention to that, make sure to go and check it out on the Discord. I don't know if you guys have heard the news about the Trigger commander leaving after the ban phase that got them Remagen against DC.
I don't know why you should bring it up there, but
I'm bringing it up because I'm wondering if you have any, as commanders, you know, seasoned veterans, if you have any kind of words of support, I suppose, or like it seems like a lot, you know, like it's easy to mess up in a game it's easy to mess up in the ban phase as well.
I want to believe that that specific occasion is not just because of that, and there's something more behind that. Most likely that we just don't hear. But obviously, for us, the team reps that are banning the maps, we do get criticized sometimes.
Stressful, right?
But it's not like you're doing it alone anyway. Like you're still aligning with the people on the last bans at least.
That's true. Well, thank you both for coming on. We'll end it there. But as I say, congratulations to the line. Commiserations to 82AD. A really strong start there for you guys. One of a few strong starts in a row, to be honest. And I'm kind of just waiting for you to have your big breakthrough win in this tournament. But obviously, we're onto the break now. And then
we're gonna have 2 tournaments to practice now.
Yeah,
to finish HCA strong.
That's right. You both looking forward to the seasonal? I guess so.
Oh yeah. No, I can't wait. Seasonal is very fun to play, especially after last year, or last seasonal.
Yeah,
we want to get the win this time.
That's right. Got it all to prove, all to play for. 82AD as well, I guess. Want to show, because you've got quite a different configuration in your team than last seasonal, right? Or like
on 82nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've have a lot of new guys. We've been trying to recruit a lot of good shooters.
Yeah, so you've got like a lot to prove as well. So I'll be really looking forward to seeing both your teams play. So, as I say, thank you very much, and congratulations to the winner. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, I'll just wrap up the stream and let you go and do whatever you got to do now. Breathing exercises. Yeah, that's right. Cool. Thank you very much, guys.
Me, man.
Thank you for the game and stream.
Take care.
GG's.
Great stuff. Always good to hear from the commanders there. I was just looking for Richard Walter to have some words of, support from his fellow commanders there, because it's a stressful position to play in as commander and as the person being in charge of everything. So I long to see him back. I like Richard Walter a lot. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to get the guy back in the game. But yeah, thank you obviously to both those guys for coming along, to Jem and Sarge, to both teams for putting on a great show for us today, and to you guys for watching. So without further ado, I will end it there, and hopefully if we've still got another game going by the time this 30-minute delay runs out, we'll be straight onto a raid of another HCA competitive match. But come check this stream out on Wednesday for the recapping, the seasonal recapping. We're going to have Heidi and hopefully Jane, maybe some other people as guests for a big, long, extended seasonal special of the recapping. And yeah, then on to the seasonal. Don't forget to check out the ECL results as well. They'll be on the recapping for all of you too, as well as all the HCA results leading us into this break. And we don't start HCA, of course, as I said earlier, until January, February time. So hectic, so much hell let loose comp at the moment. It's really great to see. So thank you again for joining me. Thanks for all the support, even though I can't shout people out as we go along. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Good night.